me talking to you guys here, so I'm not going to pollute it with a lot of bits. I'm just going to give you the details on stuff here.
Well, I'm going to pollute it with bits.
That's fine, but you're not in this scene.
That hasn't stopped me from polluting it with bits before.
Yeah, but it is Saint Sebastian in the corner.
Oh, my
here.
God.
Yeah, so it's nice. So be ready. Let's have Mama explain the plot to us, yeah? Oh, you came. Good. Want something to drink? With water on the rocks? You don't have to be shy. It's on me.
Oh, no, we're a mystery person right now?
Yes, we don't know who this is right now. It's such a bizarre case, the HB serial killings. That being said, the facts are fairly straightforward. Pointing out a culprit can't be too hard. Do you already know who the culprit is? Terra. Who are they really?
Kaname Date.
Who is Terror? Jin Fury, Uru Somazuki, Mama, or Tokiko Shigure?
It's definitely Mama.
Wasn't it Uru?
It is Uru, yes, as we were talking
Mama.
about. You want me to pick Mama? I don't know. Actually,
It's
I don't actually
obviously
know what
Mama.
it'll do, so let's just pick Mama.
Wait, so what is this that we're doing? Like this? What is this like?
So the
They're
framing
doing a
device here
weird
is
fourth
Mama
wall
is
breaking
talking
thing.
to an unseen customer right now.
Oh,
And this
I
is
mean,
just-
the process
this is
of
how
the
the-
game. Like, is this supposed to be like a catch-up option?
So
Sort of.
So this is down the final ending route. If you recall, this route was blocked to us. So I think this is just the game telling us stuff that we need to know here.
Or testing us so we can continue?
Yes.
But there's also a mysterious character she's talking to.
This is correct, too. Yes.
Okay.
So.
Okay.
Yup, you got me.
Can I just
I
assume it's
wanted to
Kaname
slurp
Date?
on the juices of young
Oh.
men, which is why I sliced them in half. Oh, come on. There's no way. Besides, Komiji and Shikara are not young. Can't you give me a more serious answer? All right, we'll give him her the proper answer of Uru Somazuki. Right, Uru. We know he killed at least 3 people. Jin Fury, Shikara Horidori, Andes Komiji. But why did he kill them?
For fun?
What was his goal?
Revenge?
Why did he kill them?
To build schools in
Oh my
Africa.
God, he's a good guy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he is a good guy.
That's a good
Yeah,
point.
uh-huh.
He is a
That's
good
what
guy.
it is. He wasn't some
Philanthropist.
noble philanthropist. That has nothing to do with anything, you rubes.
Wow.
The obvious answer here is for the yeah,
Yeah, it's the Nirvana
for the
initiative, right?
Nirvana. Yeah,
Yeah.
yep. That's right. The Nirvana Initiative, the
look who it
loony
is.
plan to have humans reach moksha. That's why Uru killed the 3 of them. We can put aside the little details for now.
Because he's a crazy man.
The most concerning aspect of this whole thing is the time difference. The left and right sides of the victims were found 6 years apart.
Why does Mama know so much about this case?
Yeah.
All right,
Well,
this has to be
so-
Kaname Date she's talking to.
Well, so if you recall, she does have weird psychic abilities. For no reason.
Yeah, true.
Yeah,
Well, it's because
so
she has 2 balls.
she also fundamentally just always seems to
Milky
know stuff, like, the underground and stuff, so yeah.
Well, it's
so-
because she's an informant.
well, yes,
Because
this
she's
is
at the
true.
bar that Kaname Date drinks at. That makes her an informant.
This is true, yes. So she does have knowledge about certain events of things here. So, okay. So, regarding the first victim, the facts are already in. 6 years ago, on February 10th, Jin Fury's body fell from the ceiling of Divider.
That's in 2 days.
That was 6 years ago, Rob. And,
In 2
well,
days.
Yeah, that's when I'm releasing the first episode, is in 2 days. So, yeah.
Oh my God.
And this year, 5 days ago, also on the 10th, Uru Somazuki's left half was found at the stadium, not Jin's. Plastic surgery and complete organ transplants.
Okay.
It fooled the investigators into thinking they were the same person. But what about the other victims? Shikara, Komiji, Tokiko. How do you explain those 3?
Those 3.
You have good intuition.
No, it's definitely
You might
Kaname Date.
already know. Which of these 4 do you guys think it is?
Why did it seem like their bodies appeared after 6 years? I mean, obviously Doc Brown created a time machine.
Doc
What
Brown
else?
created a time machine. That's got to be what it is here, yeah. Who is Professor Brown? What? Could you please not introduce a new character in the final act? That'd
Fuck
be
you, Mama.
weird.
That's what you're doing.
That'd be weird.
Because
Mike,
let's see,
you
what
want
are
him
our
to wake
options?
up for it.
Oh.
Yeah.
What are our options here?
So, why did it seem like the bodies appeared after 6 years passed?
So Miracles happens the easy one. Timeline not in the correct order. Ryuki and Mizuki were hallucinating. Maybe the timeline's wrong. Maybe it's been mixed up. There's been like a switcheroo.
So, I will say this now. The game has been fucking lying to us.
What?
What?
The timeline was not in the correct order. Right! In other words, our flowchart is lying to us. It's not like that. It's like this.
What? The flowchart is in a DNA helix?
This is the timeline you actually experienced. The red and blue lines are intertwined, almost like DNA. You started on the red line from the top, and then followed the blue line, which led you to this point. You traversed 4 X's. The left side is 6 years ago, and the right side is this year. To make things easier, we'll call the left side past and the right side present. In other words, you came here, jumping back and forth between past and present a day at a time, all to end up here.
What the fuck?
So let me explain at its core what that means.
Wow, my head's
So
spinning.
we found Jin Fury's body at Studio Divida in the past. We found the right side of Jin Fury, or who we thought was Jin Fury, at the stadium in the future.
So each day is split up? Is it
Let
opposites?
me explain it to you this way here. So, at no point, other than with Jin Fury's body, did we ever hear them ever mention that any other body was found 6 years later. So, Chikara, for example, we found his left half of the body at the school. And we found his right half of the body the next morning, not 6 years later. We
I
found the next half of his
see.
body the next morning. Now, for that to happen, we were not actually playing as Mizuki half the time we were playing as Mizuki. We were playing as clone Mizuki.
What?
Mike is dead asleep, and he is going to completely miss that.
We gotta get him the coffee.
Yeah, I kind of feel like we need to get him the coffee. I don't know how to handle this. He is dead ass asleep. Michael, can we get you coffee? You are missing big ass shit here.
Why am I so tired? I think it's that smash burger. Holy fuck.
Okay, can we let's power through this, and then do you mind running to Dunkin' Donuts to get a coffee?
He doesn't have to run me. He drove me here already.
Well, but
Do you have a different?
you
could
were falling
technically
asleep
DoorDash
every
it.
2 minutes,
I
so
could
we could DoorDash.
actually,
Yeah, DoorDash.
No,
it.
let me DoorDash it.
DoorDash it. Yeah, just DoorDash
We
it. Coffee.
live in the modern age.
Damn, that's a great
It
idea.
is right across the street. It's not far. Well, it's not right across the street, but it's not far. So, Mike, what you just missed because you were asleep? The timelines are not in the correct order.
Oh.
So,
What? That's huge.
so let me explain it to you this way again, because I explained it to Rob this way. We found Jin Fury's body at Studio Divida in the past. We found the other half of Jin Fury's body in the future, which later turned out to be Uyu. We found Chikara's left half in the classroom. We found Chikara's right half at the park. But at no point did they say for Chikara or any other body that popped up, did they say the body occurred 6 years ago or the body was found 6 years ago. Actually, Chikara was found. This is why I wanted to do this before we ate, because it does change a lot of different shit. So Chikara was, we never found those bodies 6 years apart. We found Chikara's left half of the school, and then the next day we found him at the park. So for that to happen, we have not been playing as Mizuki the whole time. we've been playing as Clone Mizuki. So Aiba's secret mission that she's been on this whole time has been to be Clone Mizuki's partner in the past. So for us, the viewers, we couldn't tell the difference between the two of them.
That's insane.
So
At what point did this tell it? What point did the game tell us this?
This is
Just
telling
now.
us right now.
Oh, okay.
Now, I will
So
say,
they flip-flopped every other day, basically.
basically, anytime you found a body. So here's the other thing that
Well, with the way the days are flipped, it's so which one? So there's one in the past,
and then one in the future.
The
yes.
next day is in the future, and then the next day after that's back in the past, and
So-
the next day is back in
Yes.
the future.
So if you recall, you know how it always
past,
would
the
do. You
present.
know how it always do something like we have a
Oh my
revelation.
God. Another person. The mystery is deepening.
Good
I
lord.
think that's the same guy that was standing outside. before.
Probably. So
Oh, the bronze van is gone.
So you know all
He was
those weird moments in this game where we do something at like 12 o'clock midnight and then it cuts away to 12:05 the next day or something like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
That's it. The game hiding a time jump sometimes. The best example
Oh.
of the best example of this is where the missiles that fired off the roof at Misatan.
Yeah.
And then the next morning we find Andes Komiji's body on the rooftop.
Yeah.
That was in the past.
The body was the missiles were in the past.
No, the missiles were in the future, but then we jump back to the past the next morning.
So Komeiji died in the past?
Komiji died in the past.
Okay.
The people who died in the past are Jin Fury, Chikara, and Komiji.
Oh, so when we saw Tokiko again, we were actually seeing her in the past, so she is still dead?
In the past, Tokiko is alive. The people
Oh,
who died.
she
The
dies.
people who
No,
died.
that's what I'm saying.
The people who died in the past are Jin Fury, Chikara,
Okay,
and
right.
Andes Komiji.
So we saw Tokiko alive recently.
in the past, yes,
But that was in the past, and she actually is going to be dead at some point in the future or something?
that is
So
correct.
she dies in the future, so in the future timeline, she's actually dead. So the other times it looked like she was still alive, she was actually in the past.
Correct.
But the characters were
Ah.
surprised to see her alive, weren't they? Or
Well,
was
they
it
were just
us?
jump scared because take for example the time we
because
found
she's
her
there.
in her office. We were just hanging out in her office without her being there, and then she comes in and we're like, "Whoa, what the fuck are you doing here?"
I see.
So it's like, yeah. And then the other time we've
I
encountered her being
see.
alive was what, for lack of a better term, I'm going to call the true ending
Uh-huh.
for right now. But we encountered her and Terror being there.
Mm-hmm.
But Terror and Tokiko are dead.
Yeah.
What that actually was events that happened in the past.
I see. Yeah. Okay.
So we're now in the future. We are now at the end of Mizuki's
So
route.
where's the mystery body in this route? Or in this setup?
Well, the mystery is Uyu, who is Terror.
And that's the body that was in the freezer?
Yeah, well, we found, well, the other, no, so I'm glad we're going through all this here. Uyu's body is actually half of his body is Jin Fury's body at the stadium.
Right.
And the other half of it we found in the freezer.
So that was actually...
So
So Terror actually
Terror
just
has been
straight died.
dead this whole time. in
So
the
Jin
future.
Fury's still alive.
Nope. Jin Fury is also dead.
So everyone's dead.
All the 5 people we know are dead are dead. However, Chikara, Andes Kamiji, and Jin Fury died in the past. Tokiko and Uyu Suzumaki, aka Terror, died within the last 5 days in the future. So let
Okay.
me put it to you this way. Terror killed Andes Kamiji, Chikara Horidori, and he killed Jin Fury, Chikara, and Komiji.
Good.
Could get donuts.
Do they have the fancy kind of donuts?
It's in me Dunkin' Donuts, so I'll just.
I'll
Yeah,
do
do
a
they have,
chocolate
like, one of the
frosted donut, actually.
Sure.
Yeah. But in any case, yes. So, Terror killed Chikara, Jin, and Andes Kamiji in the past. Somebody, unknown to this point, has killed Terror and Tokiko in the future.
Just wondering.
Right, so...
So we are
yeah.
looking for a completely different murderer now. We are
It was Ryuki.
We are looking for the person who killed
Wait.
Terror and Tokiko in the last 5 days.
Okay, what do we know about Ryuki then? So in the past, he got hit by TC Purge.
That is correct.
And that whole Tama threaten thing happened in the past.
That
he
is
killed
correct.
Tama.
Yes.
So what do we know about him in the future then? What events
We know
do
he's
we
been
experience?
drinking a lot. So
Okay.
what do we experience with him in the future? We experience
So he saw something then in the past that with the whole Tama being held up thing.
Well, yes, he experienced
Or
that
Tama
where he
being-
betrayed Mizuki, or at least clone Mizuki. So the reason clone Mizuki hates Ryuki is because of that shit.
Okay. And Clone Mizuki is friends with Kaname Date.
I don't know their relationship.
But Kaname Date showed up to save her, or was that in the future?
In the past, at the warehouse or the abandoned
yeah.
warehouse, Kaname Date did show up.
Oh, so he is dead then. We no longer have proof that he's potentially
We
not
no
dead.
longer have proof Kaname Date is currently alive. That is correct.
Oh, so it was him. Yeah, it was Kaname
Other
Date.
than the fact that we know
Kaname
that he
Date's
is,
a
other
murderer.
than on the alternate routes, he and Jin have been trading places for weird reasons.
I say we've got top suspects then, Kaname Date and Ryuki.
Okay. The name of the murderer is written on this card, by the way.
You already know
Whoa.
the murderer?
I based on the information I have been able to deduce from watching this 15 minutes, I now know the murderer.
He knows
So
the
this
murderer.
murderer is placed on this card, and that is who killed Terror and Tokiko.
Why'd you have to write it down? Isn't the game gonna tell us?
The game's gonna tell us, but I've kind of like I kind of like that I figured it out.
Oh, wait.
Yeah.
Is this your
What a
guess, or
bitch.
do you know because you played?
I've
Or
not
watched?
played any more than this. I've not seen any more of this. This is just based on the information about the timelines
So what we
changing and
know
everything.
about
This
the
is
two-
my impression of who the murderer
That's your
is.
That's just your.
That is
okay.
my pure
Who
ass
was-
guess based on deducing everything that's
Another
occurred.
person.
But I've also had 3 weeks to think about this a lot.
Who were the two? Oh my god, they're barking. Unless they're also just checking their mail. Who's died in the future? Who died in the future?
Tokiko
Tokiko.
and Uyu Suzumaki.
Okay, and so what do we know about Clone Mizuki versus regular Mizuki? Who was actually in the past? Like, who was held
So-
up? Who was the one that got tortured? Who was the one that was like,
That was
sad that their friends
Clone
were dying.
Mizuki. Because you got to remember, in the past, Mizuki is 12.
okay,
So let me put it to you this way: if we saw the masked woman in the
Right.
past, we were actually in the future. If we saw little Mizuki, we were in the past.
all right, then Clone Mizuki did it.
You think it's Clone Mizuki? Okay.
Or Kaname Date.
Or Kaname Date. Okay. Well, that's fair enough then. What are your thoughts, Mike? What do you got?
Oh my goodness. That's why.
I was gonna say this threw a lot at you. That's why I literally said I want to play for exactly 15 minutes.
I'm
and
trying
then
to
let
figure
us
out.
talk.
We got to do detective work. Who's got the motive?
Correct.
Clone Mizuki, I think, has motive,
Okay. Clone Mizuki has motive.
right?
That's
Just general vengeance on the bullshit.
general
right?
vengeance on the bullshit about the Nirvana initiative.
Although, was she friends with Terror?
No. I'm gonna guess no,
I didn't know if he
because
was,
she's
like,
been
one of
trying to
the-
hunt for Terror in the past.
Okay, so I think she's got motive to kill Terror and Tokiko.
Yes.
But who else might? Does Amame have to have motive to kill those two?
I mean, we know that
She's vaguely suspicious.
we know that we don't fully understand her deal yet. We know that Terror murdered her dad.
All right, so her and Shoma both also have motive.
Correct.
Kaname Date's got motive because he's cool.
Yes, and he would commit a very cool crime like murder. I agree.
Yeah, but he's probably dead. So
Also true too. Yes.
so he probably just killed the other ones. Oh, but whoever did the murdering was cutting people in half, so they would have had to have gotten access to the underground.
Access to the cutting implement.
And
Although
so
yeah.
Ryuki knew about it. Who else knew about it?
Ryuki knew about it. Clone Mizuki knew about it. Lian knew about it. It's not Lian. I know with certainty that boy is too pure to be a
Yeah,
murderer.
that'd be crushed.
Yeah.
So Ryuki and Clone Mizuki knew about it.
Yep.
They cut themselves in half for the Nirvana initiative.
I mean, it's possible, but then who moved the bodies?
Kagami,
Could be Kagami. Don't rule that out. It could be Kagami.
number 21.
Well,
When
he's
did he
in-
do all the shooty? Was that the past or the?
That was in the past. Yes. Yep. No. So he's just been in jail for 6 years. That
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So, Clone Mizuki and Mizuki. So Clone Mizuki was in the past, and we were playing Clone Mizuki for a lot of the game.
Yes.
Okay.
So specifically, we were playing as Clone Mizuki in the past during the Terror Balloon Hunt.
Yes.
That's why Oda is the way he is in that Somnium, by the way. Because
in
we were in
Gensomnium?
Yes, because we were in the past in Gensomnium.
Oh, that's why Oda was a kid in that one.
Correct, because it took place in the past. We didn't have the reference point to that, but
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
why.
Okay. All right.
And like I said, I've been adding all this footage, and I've been looking back at it all, knowing what I know, and it's like, there are very clear hints to a bunch of weird shit. Like, a lot.
I see.
And it's like, the whole luminol thing of the
with
blood being there for 6 years, I didn't buy that for a second, and it wasn't there for 6 years, it was there a day.
Yeah, I didn't realize. Like the whole luminol
They don't
thing just went
have
over
the
my head.
brownie batter. Do you
Yeah,
want
that's
Cupid's
fine.
choice?
Yeah.
Okay, whatever keeps you going, Mike.
No, that one's for me.
Oh, that's
Oh.
not for.
I ordered the brownie batter
Oh, okay.
because I'm a man of taste
You sure
and
are, Rob.
passion.
I'm sure it's something Valentine's Day specific.
Yeah, well, the brownie batter is one of their best fucking donuts and only comes out this time of year. God damn it.
Alas.
That's why it's sold out, because it's so fucking good.
Oh,
Oh,
there
let
you
me
go.
send him that voice. Just say it one more time into the voice message.
Into the
Yeah.
voice chat.
Uh-huh. How dare you?
Your Uber is canceled. Your pickup.
Uh-huh. So, yes. But in any case, like I said, I've had weeks to theory craft, and I know exactly who it is. And when the time is right, I'm going to flip this card over.
All right, so who's my final answer then? My options are, I'm mainly leaning towards Clone Mizuki, Kaname Date, and Ryuki, right?
I think those are your top three, yes.
Because they've all got motive. Shoma has motive too, but
Well,
he
they're
doesn't
also
seem to be able to
they're
pull it
all
off.
three of the people you mentioned are police. So
Wait, is Shoma also, is he still immortal? Did we see him as a child in the future, or was that?
he is still immortal, and he is still 12 years old, regardless of whatever path we are down.
Okay. Okay. It's a good red herring they slipped in to make him actually immortal and not like, because we kept being like, why the fuck does he look like this? Why the fuck does he look like this?
But
Yeah.
the answer is because
and then the game
they
is like,
could-
no, don't worry, he looks like that because he's immortal. There's nothing weird going on.
Yeah, exactly. But I mean, also just
They
yeah.
like, it's kind of shitty that they did the swap on it, right? Like, it's like the game fucked with us, or maybe there's going to be like an in like TC purge reason or something that makes you lose track of when time is or some bullshit.
Well, because that's
Like,
the thing.
There
Like
might be an
obviously,
in-universe explanation for this.
well, because
but
it
the
also
narrative way is
also
kinda bitchy.
fundamentally like I like this twist. I hate it, but I like it for a bunch of different
That's
reasons.
how I feel right now.
Because like
It's fucking brilliant the way it's put together and allows
Correct.
you to do all the clever shit.
like narratively, I love it. But as a person who's experienced it as a story that I'm supposed to deduce things from, I don't.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
'Cause-
because
'cause all the
you're
characters-
assuming a level of good faith. You're assuming that there's going to be fuckery, but
Correct.
but a level of good faith that you're solving a mystery.
But all those characters fundamentally, they know what time they're in and they know what stuff's going on. Obviously, Ryuki has cognitive issues that they've talked about a lot.
What's the
but
reverse
Mizuki-
of dramatic irony? So dramatic irony is when the viewer or
Knows,
the
but
reader
the,
knows, but the characters don't.
Right.
What
So
is it
it's
when all the
basically that.
characters know, but
Well, so
the
like-
viewer doesn't?
So like he did this
Reverse dramatic
in a
Reverse
game he
dramatic
made
irony.
called Zero Time Dilemma, where
He
basically
did that there in
so
that one
basically
too.
what he did is the entire story was told non-linearly because all the characters were put into a murder game basically, and they each had collars around their necks that would deploy anesthesia
God,
to
that was a
them.
good game.
Oh,
so
anesthesia, it doesn't
basically
slow
they would wake up for like a total of like a half hour at a time, not remembering what they did the last time they were awake. So, and then they would get hit with anesthesia again and immediately forget everything they did in the last half hour. So, from the characters' perspectives, everything was told non-linearly because they didn't know when they were waking up versus when they were not. As a player, you had to deduce that and figure that out. And figure out, slowly piece together what's been going on and stuff while they've been continually waking up and not getting knocked out. And that was brilliant there, even if the ending to that game kind of fucking sucked. But
That's how I live my life. 30 minutes at a time.
yeah, I mean, basically, right? Yeah. All right.
Just like the fucking guy out there. He walked away from his fucking car.
He
went and
sure
got and
did.
Something else, just walked away. His car's still on.
Yeah, I don't fully
Maybe
get.
there's a kid in the car or something.
Well, no,
I
he
assume
literally pulled up and the police came swarming at him.
I assume there's some kind of weird custody thing going on. I assume he was going to want to get into one of these residences, and somebody called ahead the police that he was going to get in.
I'm guessing
and so. They showed up to stake out and wait for him.
But then why'd the ambulance and the fire trucks come?
They often
Dramatic.
come on. Yeah,
That's fair, yeah.
Drama.
Well, because, again, the police were there for an hour, and then the fire trucks came.
I know a lot of times, sometimes they're just required to go to
Sometimes that, where the police go,
Okay.
ambulance always tends to follow.
All right, so
But-
final thoughts, gentlemen, on the story here. Final thoughts before we start playing forward and
I
we
guess-
start.
Man,
Fi-
I would
final
say
thoughts.
Ryuki would be the final
You're thinking it's Ryuki
with the candlestick in
I-
the
I-
foyer.
in the foyer. Okay,
the foyer.
foyer. We gotta be fancy about it, Mike. Come on.
Yeah,
I do
you
think
know, I
Ryuki.
think it's Kaname Date, zombie Kaname, back from the dead, back
Okay.
from the dead.
And I have my
Not
theor-
back from the dead.
And I have my theory on here, and I will explain my
Date?
theory
Oh, I
whenever
thought
I
things
feel it is appropriate.
What's
and
up?
if I'm
Why
wrong on my
Date?
theory, I will also reveal it too. Just
Cause Dot,
sake of
didn't you
fairness.
listen? Okay.
Yep.
Didn't you listen to Ross? Because Kaname Date is a cool guy who would do cool crimes.
he is a cop, though, so and we have not known him to murder people casually. Actually, that's not true. He's a former assassin. It could very well be Kaname Date.
He's a former assassin.
It could very well
We're
be
talking
Kaname
about-
Date.
we're
We
talking
don't
about
know.
who has the
Kaname
motive?
Date is not written on my piece of paper,
We
by
have
the way.
who has the motive, who has the skill and the means. Well, Kaname Date is a cool guy who does cool crimes. That's motive. Kaname Date is a former assassin. That's skill.
Yep.
And Kaname Date was possibly killed in the past by them. So zombie Kaname Date has even more motive to kill these people.
These are true statements.
Like I don't see. It's honestly
long
bulletproof
as it's a
logic.
Are you
Character we're
ready to
familiar
voice
with.
Kaname Date as a murderer?
Hey, I'm Kaname Date. I'm gonna voice Kaname Date in 3 different voice styles because of fucking brain swapping bullshit.
I mean that is true. Body swapping could be a part of this endgame too. And
Well,
I
I mean, they
don't know it yet.
reintroduced the fucking. That's like reintroducing. It's like fucking Chekhov's gun bullshit again. They've
Right.
reintroduced the side sync machine.
But they also reintroduced it in the past. So for all we know by
so
now,
the
that's
side
out of
sync-
commission.
So when they did the side syncing, that was in the past.
that was like maybe like a month or two
Okay,
after
then they
the.
really should have pulled out somebody's eyeball. Who did we sync with in the side machine?
We synced with Terror.
Did we pull out his eyeball?
I know we didn't because
No.
his mask was bullshit and couldn't come off until Kaname Date later shot it with a bullet because
And then it slid off dramatically.
because Terror is immune to anesthesia for too long.
Right. Okay. He's
Yeah.
got that. I mean, my mom.
Now,
is-
in fairness, he
my
was
mom
also
has that.
experimented a lot on as a kid and went through a ton of Shikara's experiments. So that does make sense
My mom
to a
has
certain
that.
degree.
Immune
Really?
to anesthesia?
not immune, but like it doesn't work as well on her. She metabolizes it quick. She can't really
Yeah.
like. She can drink more than she should.
I was
but
like,
still not too
I've
much.
heard of a
She
comedian
metabolizes
who.
weed really fast. Not that she's done THC and
Well, I
the
just
past
remember
40
like one of the
years.
comedians I listened to told the story about how he woke up from anesthesia during a colonoscopy. And it was like, do I tell them or do I just try to go back to sleep and not have them notice?
Oh no.
And what do I do?
she like pain meds and pain numbing type meds don't work as well on her, so she has to get
Interesting.
really smacked, like really hit by it.
Oh, it's
Just-
right here. Okay, your coffee's right here.
Oh shit.
Okay. No, I mean, I'm looking at it on the
So
map.
now
It's
do you
literally right there,
understand
so.
after you've been theory crafting for so long here?
Oh wait, who did I land on? I'll do Clone Mizuki for my.
You think Chloe Mizuki's the murderer? Okay.
Wait, what did Mike choose?
Ryuki.
You choose Ryuki.
Okay.
Okay.
This feels like a generic choice, but I don't know. I don't like.
I mean, cause the fact if it is end up Ryuki, I did call that in my rap, but that's also not who's on my card. So
Oh, is So Sejima on your card?
Sejima's not on my card.
God. If it's someone like this last 5 seconds, then I'm just mad.
I don't believe so, but we will find out.
Oh my
Uh,
God, he got us 2.
Oh.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
He got us 2.
Uh-huh.
Probably
It's
because
one of those
they
hard
didn't
donuts,
have.
so you gotta have it with a pair.
Yeah, he probably didn't have the.
Oh, probably because you didn't have the brownie batter. They were just
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
yeah,
it's
give him
like,
2
I'll
of
just
it.
get 2.
Yeah.
That's fine. Strawberry's not my.
Yeah, it's not
Frosting
mine
of
either.
choice.
So
Then
they're
I
both
guess
they're
I'm
both
gonna
for
eat it.
you, Rob.
I
Alright.
love donuts. I fucking
Chikara's
love
right half
donuts.
was found the night of the 11th in the
Tell you what,
past.
a former detective.
His left half was found the next morning. Komiti's right half was found on the 13th. His left half was found the next morning at 6 a.m. 6 years have passed, and now we're here. In the present, Tokiko's right half was found on February 12th.
I liked her.
The next day, a little past
could've fixed
midnight,
her.
left half. You don't fix crazy, Rob. You don't fix crazy pussy.
We could have fixed her.
You don't fix crazy pussy. That's just not a thing you do.
We were talking to James about that.
We were actually talking with James about that literally last night. Yeah. Because I guess James got some crazy pussy that he's trying to worry he's going to burn down his house.
He called me and asked about that. Yeah.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
What, to ask about arson?
Yeah.
Like, how do they prove arson? Can they prove that individual did it?
Yeah.
I'm like,
Like
yes,
the
they can.
person who exactly. The next day, a little past midnight, her left half was found in the basement of Horadori Institute. Long story short, the left and right halves weren't found 6 years apart. They were all found soon after each other. Nothing supernatural here, just some bullshit writing to fuck with you. Again, I do think writer-wise it's brilliant, but as a player it kind of pisses me off. So this is our original flowchart. Now this is our true flowchart. So it shows the story in chronological order.
Bastards.
Yep.
What about the
So-
side routes?
That's an excellent question. What happened to the side routes? I don't know that here. I think
Like
they
the
just,
bad ends or the
Yeah.
non-canon?
I think they
they
just been
probably
wiped.
snipped them.
Yeah, they did snip them because they're not actually true here. So again, this is kind of all what we literally just talked about, where we jump back and forth between them here. So again, the stuff regarding terror, somnium, and stuff that was in the ending there. So I don't know where we're actually starting here. I imagine we're actually starting here with the conversation between Mizuki and Clone Mizuki. I think that's where we're actually realistically starting
So
here.
what just happened last in chronological order?
So what happened last in chronological
February
order?
the 14th February 14th, Valentine's Day, proper day.
So
Future time,
Valentine's
present
Day,
time.
Valentine's Day future. We were playing as Ryuki. Ryuki is looking for Amame because Amame is gone missing after the death of her dad, Komiji.
Wait,
Or
so
no,
does
I'm
that
sorry.
mean it
Hang
was
on here. No,
cloned?
that's not right here. What? Hold on here. Let me think about this. Okay, so Ryuki in past, Komiji's dead in the past.
Yeah.
Hang on here. Let me. We
I'm
never.
trying to figure out.
Hang on. Summary here. There are summaries here. Okay, so let's follow this logically here. So Komiji found something important to somebody at Misatan Rooftop Amusement Park and took it with him in a suitcase. He wanted to threaten the owner. What is this important thing? Komiji became part of an illegal
I know
gun
what it
trade
is.
to pay off his debts. Well, we know it was the
I
other
know
half
what
of
it
the
is.
body. Yes.
Oh, I knew that.
Yes. Ryuki
That
heads
guy's
to the end
car
of
battery is gonna die.
He is in contact by Terror
My
and
car
told
battery
him
died
to meet
today.
them at Studio Divida. Ryuki goes there. He finds Shoma and the three girls from Sekaba High, Iris, Kazuna, and Amame, along with Komiji's right half in a body bag. Shoma screams and runs. Ryuki goes to the amusement park to look for him. He sees Shoma run into the Ferris wheel, and nothing happens because at that point he's freaking out. And then they obviously, in the past, they find Komiji's body on Misatan the next morning as Clone Mizuki. So here, around midnight on the 14th, Tama announces it's Valentine's Day, but Ryuki doesn't care. He stands in front of the Ferris wheel waiting for Shoma to get out. Shoma wasn't even on the Ferris wheel. He disappeared. How? The answer being Ryuki doesn't know that, he thought something about his memory thought he was on the Ferris wheel, but he was not. The next morning, Ryuki reenacts the scene at studio using Tame's virtual reality function. He finds out that Amame met Terror. Okay, so this is interesting here. So let's walk through this here.
So it was Clone Mizuki who was giving people candy on Valentine's Day?
Yes, so there's that too. But in any case, so let's walk through this here. Komiji's body is dead at the studio. Ryuki, because he's having a mental episode, feels the need to walk and go through Komiji's murder scene again. He then figures out that Amame found Terror as part of the investigation here. We obviously didn't place that this was in the future, but it just is a thing. He looks for Amame. We go into Amame's somnium here. We know Amame knows about the Nirvana initiative is the thing we learned from this somnium here. At that point, we get a notice that what happened here? Amame said Nirvana collective genocide in her dream. It must be related to the Nirvana initiative. Does it mean the missing people who watched the video are being gathered and killed? Are the rumors true? Ryuki gets a call from Aiba. She says it's an emergency.
Yeah.
Okay. So this is where we're at currently. Ryuki gets a call from Aiba. She says it's an emergency. Kizuna has gone missing. Aiba asks him to look for Kizuna. Leon mentions that Kizuna and the others were going to watch a video together. Could Kizuna have watched the video and gone missing? Ryuki gets a bad feeling in his stomach as Amame's words circled around in his head. Nirvana collected genocide. So that is fundamentally where we left off here in the past route here, or in the future.
The mind of God.
Yes. So that is where we are entering into now.
Oh, yo.
Well, that's fun.
Wait, go back one again.
Yeah.
So that one, Ryuki found. Wait, can you read that one again?
Yes. So Amame said Nirvana collected genocide in her dream. It must be related to the Nirvana initiative. Does it mean the missing people who watched the video are being gathered and killed?
Wait, so are there? Is there a newish video in the present then?
Yes. Because so, couple different things to note about the 4 videos we've seen so far. Bats 490, that was a video before the game began. It had a message leading people to the Nye Cathedral underground. It was made by Nye, and they admitted to it, that it was meant to recruit people into Nye. The next video we have is the video of Frey to Free. That was on the sign that was Jin Fury's body. We're not quite sure what that meant, other than just it was a weird thing. The third video we saw, the Nirvana trial. I believe that video is in the past, because I believe that is the video Ryuki saw when he was at the park.
Okay.
And then the last video was Nirvana X, which I'm going to guess is probably very recent.
Okay.
Nirvana X is the most recent video. Nirvana X is the one that had the timestamp of 2:15 noon. So presumably...
And Kizuna's missing.
Kizuna is missing, and today is the 15th. So presumably, whatever the Nirvana... Well, the Nirvana initiative we know is launching the crazy missiles. So we know that that's going to happen today.
Okay. Missile time.
Missile time. All
Fuck
right?
yeah.
We ready to dive back into it here?
Yeah.
Who's
Okay.
birthing a child?
Well, we still got Mama to deal with because we're not done with Mama. Chloe, don't jump down. God damn
She
it. Use
jumped.
your ramp. Come here. Anyway, everything you just heard is my genius analysis. Oh, but I know what you're going to say. How would I be able to figure that out because the writer's so full up his asshole? And the answer is, well, I don't know. But there's still tons of things that can't be explained, right? Especially, who killed Uru and Tokiko?
Saint Sebastian.
Jin, Shikara, Komiji. It was Terra, who sliced these 3 in half. But then Uru was killed in the present, February 10th. Tokiko's body was found after that. So who killed Uru and Tokiko? Well, I'm sure this mess will be cleared up soon. By Mizuki, her friend.
Again.
And by you, Freyer.
Freyer.
Oh.
There's a new person.
So
Oh,
anyway,
so is that
good
named
luck with
Freyer?
your... So, about the idea of what the Freyer is, couple different notes here. So, the sign that was in Jin Fury's body said Frey to Free.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't really understand the purpose of that. We went to Tokiko's office, and Tokiko asked us, are we a Freyer? We said no.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm pretty sure it's by Freyer, she just means somebody who's outside the simulation.
Well, the Freyer
Like
is
a
somebody
mind flayer?
who's- No.
No, we also
Didn't
made that
she-
joke too.
Didn't she explain that like the Freyers are people that like start pulling at the seams?
Maybe that's it then, yeah.
And then
okay.
terror-
I just
terror,
assume
like-
because Freyer is so close to player, it's like an Earthbound thing where the game's talking to us.
Oh, my,
I mean, that
my
is
lights went
happening.
orange when I shifted.
Anyway, I'll be cheering you on. She's not talking to anybody in here.
Well, yeah, she's talking to herself and having an episode.
Whoa, yeah, why'd you flip? Oh, because she's using
Because
her
she
balls.
was being psychic, yeah. Huh? Who was I just
Oh.
talking to?
Us, the player.
So it is just
Yeah,
us the
I
player.
think it is just us, the
a
player.
little
That's why
forward.
I'm making that inference there. Yeah,
I see.
yeah. Maybe I've had a bit too much to drink.
Maybe the murder
It's
was
awfully
us all
cold
along.
tonight.
I mean, yeah, the idea is that if you're outside the system, like we're
You would
from
pull
the,
out the seams.
from
Yeah.
the world of their game world, of their narrative